Today we'll be wrapping up the regular season here in year number 4 of the Portland Trail Blazers MyNBA franchise here on NBA 2K24. The race for playoff seeding has been extremely close throughout the entire season in the Western Conference, and today we'll finally get our answer of where our Blazers will be seeded for the playoffs. Right now, the top 5 teams in the conference are all separated by just 2 games, with us currently in 4th. But again, we're only half a game out of 2nd, which shows how close this conference has been pretty much the entirety of this season. The Eastern Conference is pretty close as well, but certainly a little bit more spread out than us. And as we get ready for our final 3 weeks, we're in an interesting spot because we've got a really tough schedule. And as it's been through the entire year, our team is, well, pretty banged up. That's been a common theme since the first week of this season. It hasn't stopped us from being a good team throughout the duration of the season, and hopefully that continues through the final 3 weeks. In the last episode, we had another prospect profile going over a lot of the mid to late projected first-round picks, which is pretty relevant because we are projected to have a pick in that range of the draft. So let's kind of take a look at the situation of where we are currently. Starting with health, we have a new injury. Kristaps Porzingis strained hip, and that's along with already being without Enzo Shabazz and Ochai Agbaji. As we look at our last 12 games of the regular season, we've got a really tough schedule. And of course, this is coming off the thrilling triple overtime win in Milwaukee during the last episode. This game was absolutely insane. If you missed it, I recommend you check it out because it was wild. I would have to imagine this might be the first time in NBA history where a team was down by at least 10 in overtime and then won by at least 10. We had a really impressive comeback in the second overtime, and then we pulled away in overtime number 3 to ultimately get the win over the NBA's best team in Milwaukee. This is what the rotation looks like going into our final 12 games of the year. We're going to have Kristaps Porzingis taken out. He can play theoretically through the injury, and I may have him return earlier than he should. But for now, we do want to be cautious with him. We saw what happened a couple years ago with DeAndre Ayton getting hurt, and I'd rather not have that situation again. So Ashton Wisham, the rookie out of St. Louis, will start at the 5, and Fritz Bengaro is going to get some minutes as well. So we're going to go pretty slowly, sort of going through a couple games at a time. And as we look at our last 12 games, we've got some really tough matchups. The Kings, Hornets, Spurs, and Bucks are all title contenders. The Raptors, Mavericks, Pistons, Grizzlies, all pretty solid teams. So we're going to go 2 games at a time. Zay Logan had his eye poked against New Orleans as we split. We beat Dallas by 18. I guess whenever we play Dallas, there's no defense. And the Mavericks is a very plausible round 1 playoff opponent for us. Luka had a triple-double, and it didn't matter. Scoot with a big game. Springer with 24 and 17. We did lose, though, to New Orleans, but we have moved up to 3rd place. Now we play against Sacramento and Philadelphia. The Kings are really good. The Sixers, well, not so much. And sure enough, we split, losing to the Kings, beating the 76ers. Sacramento lost arguably their top scorer, Amel Wright, 5 minutes into the game. He actually tore his MCL, which could be a really big loss in the Western Conference playoff picture for Sacramento. So now we're going to simulate through this next game against Boston, one of the worst teams in the league, and we lose by 23. That's really not good at all. Our offense has been great over the last couple of weeks, but we kind of laid an egg here. 9 of 30 from deep. A lot of guys shot the ball poorly. Griffin, 4 of 13. Simons, 4 of 12. Still in 4th place, but losing to a team like Boston at this stage of the year really is not ideal. We're going to bring Porzingis back on a minutes restriction. I'm kind of getting close to hitting the panic button after losing to Boston. We've got a big game here against Toronto, who's a pretty good team. They have basically an identical record to us, led by Scotty Barnes and Rurik Yakovlev. So this is certainly a matchup that we're going to have to win, and we're not going to play this game. We're going to sim past it, mainly because I really want to play the game against Charlotte. So we'll simulate through this game against Toronto by way of Simcast, being that I feel like this is the most important regular season game we've had so far. And it seems like we're taking care of business. Toronto's making it close, but they're not going to be able to make the comeback as we end up winning by 4. Shaedon Sharpe with 36 points, and arguably the biggest game of the year. Rurik Yakovlev also had 36, leading the way for Toronto, but for them it was not enough. Now let's simulate through this game against Detroit. Again, Charlotte's the game that I really want to play, and we end up beating the Pistons by 12. Ever since the triple overtime game against Milwaukee, our offense has been legitimately on another level. Here we score 146 against the Pistons. 4 guys with at least 22 points. Springer with 16 and 14. We're still in 4th place, though. Tied with Sacramento for the 3 spot. We're not too far out at 5th place. And I think getting a top 3 seed really should be the goal. That way we avoid any one of the top 5 teams in the Western Conference in the first round. I'd really rather not have to play someone like San Antonio or Sacramento or Oklahoma City in the first round, but it's not going to be easy. We still have to play the Hornets, who are the 3rd place team in the East. We still have to play Milwaukee, who is in 1st place. We still have to play the Spurs as well. So the reason why this Charlotte team has been so good this year has been the acquisition of Anthony Davis from the Lakers, who has really solidified this roster, led by young talent such as LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller. LaMelo's an MVP candidate. Miller's been an awesome draft pick. They also have former number 1 overall pick, Cale Foster. And when the Hornets drafted him, it looked like kind of a strange pick. And while there probably are 3 or 4 players in that draft class better than him, I don't think the Hornets would redo it, given the opportunity with how good of a fit Cale Foster's been for them. The one problem with this Hornets team is depth. Other than Lonzo Ball, who ironically is on the same team as LaMelo, this team has a really bad bench. So I'm hoping that our second unit's going to be able to attack that. And we will be bringing Ochai Agbaji back for this game. He's been out for over a month with an arm injury. We're going to have him on a minutes restriction, but I think having him with the second unit's going to be really helpful. Again, being that we should have a major advantage when the 2 benches are in, facing off against each other. Our Portland Trail Blazers have 5 games to go, 3 of which are against NBA title contenders in Charlotte, San Antonio, and Milwaukee. Ironically, 3 of the smallest markets in the NBA. Portland is currently in 4th place, tied for 3rd with Sacramento. And again, I think getting a top 3 seed should be the goal for us so we can avoid a team like Sacramento or San Antonio in the first round. Not to say somebody like Dallas or Minnesota wouldn't give us trouble, but I would way rather go up against one of them rather than a team like the Kings or the Spurs, who legitimately could win the NBA title. Regular starters here for the Blazers. As for Charlotte, it's going to be their normal 5 as well, as the tip-off is won by Porzingis, and we are underway in the Queen City. 2 of the most fun young teams in the NBA square off with 1 week to go in the regular season, and both teams fighting for seeding, as Scoot Henderson's going up, and away early, dunking this one on Patrick Williams, who's the 5th starter for this Charlotte team, joined by the other 4 great players. Porzingis floats that one up. No good. Nice defensive stop by Charlotte, who trails 5-0. Brandon Miller pops for 3. It's good. Miller, of course, infamously drafted over Scoot Henderson, and I think the Hornets are very happy with that decision. Both teams are happy with their 2023 draft picks. Speaking of Scoot, he's in for another slam with 4 early points, and the Blazers look really strong here in the early going on both ends of the floor. Porzingis guarded by Davis. Fade away left side, no good. Griffin with the offensive rebound, and Khalil Griffin is in for the putback as Portland adds to their lead. It's 9-3. Charlotte with only 1 made basket in the first 3+ minutes of the game. Miller, fadeaway 3 is good. Another triple for Brandon Miller, who's been the only source of offense so far for Charlotte. Davis, wide open lane, he's blocked. Griffin comes in out of nowhere with the snuff. He's got it in transition and throws it down off the assist by Scoot. 13-6 now. LaMelo inside for Anthony Davis. Guarded by Porzingis, and Davis, the big man, makes a nice move. It looked like AD was kind of regressing with the Lakers, but here in Charlotte, he's been legitimately incredible. One of those impactful players in the league. As Patrick Williams hits the corner 3. Williams shooting 49% from beyond the arc, leads all qualified players in the NBA. Cale Foster, not too much below him, the former number 1 pick, gets the layup in transition. Charlotte has scored 7 in a row. They lead 13-6 as LaMelo Ball is blocked by Springer. What a play! The Hornets get it back, though. Davis with the save. Out to Miller, who misses the 3. But that block by Springer, oh, man. Both defenses have been great. With 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter, it's 15-13. There's been no offense to speak of. Lonzo Ball's jumper is good. But going back to my previous point, who would have thought one of the best young offenses in the league with Charlotte against the hottest offense in the league in us, and it's a defensive battle. Some miscommunication defensively. Nick Smith Jr. hits the 3. There was an open man in the corner. Suleiman was too focused on him that he leaves Smith open for the triple. The Blazers have not scored in like 5 minutes. It's been a while. Griffin's blocked, gets it back. Out to Ochai Agbaji. Agbaji inside, no good. I mean, it's really been tough sledding. It's literally been 5 minutes since the last time Portland scored. And then on the other end, Lonzo with it, out to his brother, LaMelo Ball, who sinks the three. Charlotte on a 17-0 run. I don't think I've ever seen an NBA offense look this helpless. Springer, tough three, is good. And finally, the Blazers are on the board for the first time in literally 5.5 minutes. The last time we scored, there was 5:42 left in the first quarter. Yeah, it's been bad. That was Portland's first three-pointer of the entire game after starting like 0 for 6 or something. Spin move by Wade Jawai. He's in for the layup. 25-16. Scoot Henderson with it. Looking at the corner. Springer. Corner three is good. So now Springer's getting open from deep. Hitting some long balls. The Blazers with 2 threes in a row after, again, starting 0 for 6. Charlotte will likely get the last shot. LaMelo Ball with it. Guarded by Scoot. Scoot looks to draw some kind of foul. Shot no good. Portland's going to get one more at the end of the quarter as Henderson's shot is no good. And a game that I expected to be a high-scoring track meet has been anything but. The Hornets lead 25-19 in a defensive slugfest. The Hornets obviously had their big 17-0 run in a span over 5 minutes, but it's not like Charlotte's offense has been that good. Springer inside for the layup. He has scored the last 8 points for Portland. It's good to see somebody waking up on offense because everybody else has been a disaster. LaMelo with a dime for Lonzo. Of course, Lonzo Ball had the knee issues. It really seems like he is fully recovered, which is great to see. Springer, step back. 3-ball is good. Darius Springer with another triple. 3 for 4 from beyond the arc. Griffin, pump fake, inside for Zay Logan. No good. Logan with the offensive rebound out to Griffin. Long two is good. Nice second chance play there by the Blazers. And the first time in nearly 10 minutes that somebody other than Darius Springer scored. Lonzo Ball off the screen. Knocks down the long two. Charlotte up by 6. LaMelo out to Lonzo. To the top of the key. Justice Winslow hits the 3. Yes, Justice Winslow is getting real role player minutes for an NBA contender in the year 2027. Who would have thought? Here's Darius Springer out to Ochai Agbaji. Drives inside and one! How did that shot fall? Agbaji just kind of heaved it up and it rattles in. An unbelievably lucky play if we're being completely honest, as Ochai would get the and one, making it a 10-point game. Pass is tipped and intercepted by Patrick Williams on the other end. Brandon Miller's blocked by Porzingis. Hornets back with it. Davis with the putback. Charlotte up by 12. 43-31. Here's Pat Williams, tightly guarded by Sharp. Out to LaMelo Ball. His 3 is good, and the Hornets are starting to go on another run. The Blazers' offense, again, has gone ice cold, and Charlotte is knocking down their shots. Although Miller misses the open 3. Springer with the rebound. Out to Agbaji. He's intercepted by Davis. Along with all the misses, the turnovers have been a problem, too. Anthony Davis guarded by Agbaji. Out to Lonzo Ball, looking to get some room. Drives inside for the big man, Anthony Davis, who gets the dunk, and Charlotte leads by 17. LaMelo is it tipped away and stolen. Sharp with the steal. Agbaji to Henderson for 3. Misses it. I mean, it's just been that kind of day on offense. Even good looks from deep like that. Sharp inside. Layup is good. And that ends another super long scoring drought for the Blazers that lasted around 3.5 minutes. So another big run for Charlotte concludes. They went on an 11-0 run before Portland was finally able to score again. And with 2.5 minutes left in the first half, the Blazers have just 33 points. As LaMelo Ball is in for the layup, 17-point lead now. Portland just trying to get something going on offense, and that's not how you do it. Anthony Davis with the turnover. Out to Cale Foster, former top draft pick. Hits the 3 off the catch, and the Hornets lead by 20. Foster with it again. Another good look for 3. This time he misses it. Griffin with the rebound, his 8th. On the other end, Griffin looking to push away in transition as he throws down LaMelo Ball and the dunk. The Blazers have been solid in transition, but in regular offensive sets, they haven't been able to get anyone open at all today. LaMelo Ball hits the 3, 21-point lead now, the biggest it's been. Griffin with it on the wing, drives right side. Griffin out to Porzingis, long 2, It's good. Nice ball movement there by the Blazers. Ball movement has been an issue, so it's good to see them getting that to work. 37-56. Here's Simons with it. Fadeaway three is no good. Another missed three-pointer for the Blazers. They've got a lot of those here in this first half. And then at the buzzer, LaMelo Ball is fouled. I think that play is just a perfect description of how the first half has gone. I don't think I need to say it, but number one rule of defense, don't foul the jump shooter. Fittingly, the final inbound is intercepted. Miller nearly makes the half-court shot. And that'll wrap up what was a disastrous first half. 59-37, Charlotte leads it. This game feels kind of similar to the Dallas game earlier in the year where we played awful, but for a completely different reason. During that game, we trailed 90-60 at halftime. Our offense was playing really well. It's just that we couldn't defend a fly. Today, it's been the opposite. I think our defense has been pretty good, but the offense has been a train wreck. Other than Darius Springer, who's 3 for 4 from 3, the rest of the team is 0 for 12 from deep. That's bad. Shaedon Sharpe makes the layup, starting the second half off with some points, hopefully a sign of things to come, as Davis, off the pump fake, gets the layup. Hornets back up by 22. Springer out to Porzingis. He's got Springer. Open three is good. Even though nobody on this team other than Darius Springer has been able to shoot the ball, at least he's getting some good looks from deep. He's 4 of 5 from beyond the arc. Springer's the only guy who's been good offensively, so Portland's going to force feed him the ball as he gets the fadeaway over his fellow draft class mate, Cale Foster. 44-63. Here's Brandon Miller with it. Gets some room off the screen. Three is good. And through the first couple minutes of the third quarter, the Blazers have not been able to dig into this lead. Charlotte still leads by 22. Miller out to Anthony Davis. His shot is good from 3. And Davis adds to the Hornets' lead. It's up to 25. Shaedon Sharpe on the drive. Misses the dunk. Again, that's just how this game has gone. Brandon Miller throws it down with a two-handed slam on the other end. And the Trailblazers call time. The third quarter has not looked a whole lot better than the first half. 27-point game now. Scoot Henderson is an open dunk in transition. He'll throw that one down. And that'll cut the lead all the way down to 25. It might be time to put your rally caps on, kids. Cale Foster for 3. It's good. And he tells the children to remove the rally caps because, I don't know, it might not be happening. Here's Patrick Williams with it at the top of the key. Out to Miller. Lawn 2 off the screen. He knocks that one down. And the lead is moved up to 28. Miller with it on the wing. He's doubled. Springer pokes away at it. He gets the steal. Springer out to Sharpe. His shot. Lawn 2 is good. The best offense is good defense. And again, it's Darius Springer, the only guy who's been awake today, making the play. 50-76. LaMelo Ball with it. Spin move. Ball! With a nasty move on Ochai Agbaji. Come on, LaMelo. That man's crippled. He can't help it. 50-78. Springer with it on the drive. He is blocked by Davis. Springer is getting exhausted with the offense pretty much being only ran through him. He is losing gas fast. Charlotte looking to bring the lead up to 30. LaMelo says, how about 31 instead? He hits the contested 3 at the top of the key. Malachi Suleiman gets it over to Darius Springer. Looks to drive right side. Springer inside for Ashton Wisham. My brother in Christ, you are 7'3". Use your size as he misses the layup. Charlotte with the rebound. Lonzo inside for Davis, who has the mismatch and takes advantage. Despite missing it, he gets the rebound over Agbaji for the putback. 33-point game now. Springer off the drive with a powerful dunk. He's up to 20 points on the day. The rest of the team has 32 points. And again, keep in mind, there's 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Springer with another impressive shot. The lefty fadeaway over LaMelo Ball. And the Blazers would have it within 30 for a short time. Not anymore. Springer open lane. No good. Davis with the rebound. He gets it over to LaMelo Ball with around 2.5 left in the third. LaMelo looking to get some room. Guarded by Zay Logan. There's got to be a mismatch somewhere, as Cale Foster has room. Guarded by Springer. Foster with a fadeaway 3. Hook 'em horns for Cale Foster, as it's a 34-point game. Springer misses the triple. Even Springer's gone cold now, and you can't really blame him. Again, he's taken so many shots in this quarter. The Blazers try to get the charge. They don't. LaMelo hits another 3, and the Hornets lead by 37. Minute and a half to go. Davis misses the lob dunk attempt. That might be the first unlucky thing to happen to the Hornets all day. On the other end, Malachi Suleiman's three is airballed. Yeah. What am I supposed to say? Here's Justice Winslow in the corner off the screen. Winslow with a dime inside for Wade Jawai, who misses. Good defensive play by Porzingis. He gets it over to Khalil Griffin in the final seconds of the quarter. Griffin's three is no good, and that'll wrap up the third quarter. The Portland Trail Blazers have done one of the most impressive feats you can do in the modern NBA, and that is score less than 20 points in 3 quarters in a row. I think you guys get the point. We do not need to watch the rest of this game because, well, not much changed. The Hornets would win in a blowout, but I do want to show you something here with like 2 minutes left. So Smith goes inside for Jawai. He's blocked by Porzingis. The starters are still in the game, by the way, as Shaedon Sharpe has it on the drive. Out to Zay Logan for 3. That's the first three-pointer by somebody other than Darius Springer of the entire game. It took us 38 minutes to have somebody other than Springer make a 3, as the Hornets win it 113-79. We didn't even score 80 in this game. We played pretty much everybody in the fourth quarter other than Darius Springer and Ochai Agbaji because Springer played well and Ochai's hurt. He has an excuse. Everybody else, though, does not have an excuse for how horribly they played today. I don't even know where to begin with how horribly this game went. I will say the defense was pretty good overall. Lonzo led the way off the bench with 26. Davis with 19, 17, 3, 3, and 3. LaMelo with 15, 8, and 8. Foster and Miller were both pretty quiet. And overall, Charlotte's offense was unimpressive, but it didn't matter. Darius Springer with 22 points. The shooting percentages don't look that good for him, but he was chucking stuff up in the third quarter because, again, he was the only guy who got the ball. Charlotte realized this, and they game planned around him. Nobody else was any good on offense really whatsoever. I will say none of the starters shot the ball horribly or anything. Shaedon Sharpe, 5 of 10. Griffin, 6 of 16. He did have a double-double, though. Porzingis, 3 for 9. Scoot, 3 for 7. It was really the bench who struggled here, and this was against a Charlotte team who has maybe the worst bench in the NBA. I went into this game expecting our bench to have a big game, looking to attack the second unit. Well, instead, the bench went 4 for 29 from the field and 1 for 16 from 3. Simons and Logan in particular, they went 2 for 18 from the field and 1 for 12 from deep. I don't think I need to tell you how atrocious that is. And if we compare this to the Dallas blowout that happened a few months ago, at least we lost this game for a lack of effort. The offense actually played pretty well in this game. It was just that we didn't give any effort on defense or on the glass. This was the game where Dallas doubled the amount of rebounds than us. But we had excuses. We had 3 guys get hurt in this game with Suleiman, Porzingis, and Scoot. That didn't happen in the Charlotte game. It's not that we didn't try against the Hornets. It's just that we played that poorly. And the timing of this is really not good. Because there's a week before the playoffs, and we played like a JV, middle school, wheelchair basketball team with blindfolds on. If this game happened in November, I could have been fine with it. But there's 1 week before the playoffs, and we played that poorly. Not ideal. Let's hope we can rebound here against the Lakers, who are not all that good of a team, and thankfully we do. It seems like the offense appears to be back to business, scoring 125. We shot 45 threes, which is quite the strategy after the disaster class we put on from beyond the arc against the Hornets, but I guess it worked out. That brings us to this next game against the Spurs, and I think this game is so important for us, being that the Spurs are currently in 5th place, we're currently in 4th place. So as it stands now, we would play San Antonio in the first round of the playoffs. Of course, we had the crazy game against them a couple episodes ago that went into overtime with the game-winning 3 by Josh Hart at the buzzer to win by 2. And as we look at this Spurs team, obviously we know them pretty well. We played them in the playoffs last year. Again, we may play against them again this year. We're half a game out of 3rd place, and that 3 seed has been our target, so we can avoid the Spurs in the first round. Victor Wembanyama appears well on his way to win his first MVP. The Spurs, other than that, are pretty much fully healthy right now. So we've got a challenge for us, and I'm really curious to see how we can perform against this San Antonio team, who we might see again very soon. Ochai Agbaji is fully healthy. He will get his regular minutes back, although we're going to keep Khalil Griffin in the starting lineup just as we have throughout the duration of the season. So the Blazers only have 3 games left to go. We're currently in 4th place, and we get the lucky privilege of playing both the Spurs and the Bucks within these final 3 games, along with a Memphis team that could still be pushing for a play-in spot. So our schedule is looking pretty rough, and we very well could lock ourselves into that 4 spot pretty soon. But ideally, that doesn't happen. And if we can win this game, then we can put ourselves back in position to get 3rd or even 2nd with Oklahoma City, who's currently the 2 seed, slowing down a little bit. If the Spurs win this game, then it's probably a foregone conclusion that we'll be 4th and they'll be 5th. And I would rather that not happen. Wembanyama and Porzingis meet for the tip. It goes to Wemby, and we are underway. Other than Enzo Shabazz, the Blazers are healthy right now, believe it or not. As Wembanyama has it inside, no good. Porzingis with the rebound. Porzingis really struggled defensively in the last meeting between these two teams as Shaedon Sharpe hits the 3. Against the Hornets, it took us 38 minutes for somebody other than Darius Springer to hit a 3. In this game, it took around 25 seconds. Basketball can be kind of weird. The Spurs are having a little trouble on this possession. They're passing it around. Looks like there's some defensive miscommunication, but the Spurs don't take advantage of the open shooter. 4 on the shot clock. Inside for Wembanyama, guarded by Porzingis. When in doubt, give it to the Frenchman. Victor Wembanyama looking to cement his first MVP as he misses that one. Another nice defensive stop by Porzingis. Springer out to Sharpe. Back to Springer, who throws it down. Great ball movement on that possession by the Blazers. Unselfish basketball finished off by a Darius Springer slam, and it's 7-2. I know it's early, but the offense looks a whole lot better than it did against Charlotte. Not that that really says much. Victor Wembanyama hits the 3, 7-5. Marco Romano with it. He's trapped. Out to Levine on the wing. Hits the 3 to put the Spurs on top, 8-7. Here's Josh Hart with it. Inside for the big fella. Wembanyama misses the dunk. Wemby's got 5, but he's been pretty inefficient. He's missed a lot of shots so far. Springer inside for Sharpe, who has it tipped, gets it back, out to Springer. Fade away, and it's good. That probably was not the shot he should have taken. He should have looked to post up on Zach LaVine, but he made it, so it's fine. Marco Romano's trapped in the corner for Victor Wembanyama. Hits another 3, his 2nd of the ball game. He's got 8, and San Antonio's back ahead. Sharpe inside for Porzingis. It's tipped away and stolen. Josh Hart ends up with it in transition. He's got Romano now. Romano backs up. Lobs it in for Domantas Sabonis, who dunks on Darius Springer. What a play. 13-9. Portland's offense has gone cold, and Shaedon Sharpe is going to end the cold streak with a beautiful slam. 13-11 now. Wembanyama, turnaround jumper is no good. Another miss for Victor Wembanyama, who continues his inefficient start. On the other end, Sharpe over to Scoot Henderson, drives right side. He's in for a 2-handed dunk, and the Blazers tie it at 13 with around 5 minutes to go in the first. Henderson with a dime for Springer, out to Porzingis. Pump fake. Wemby goes flying, and Porzingis is in for the and 1. The fellow European big man, Domantas Sabonis, is called for the foul. 15-16. Here's Wembanyama with it. Inside. Jumper is no good again. Wemby continues to build a house with all these bricks. On the other end, Scoot to Springer, who knocks down the 3 from the right wing. 19-15. Here is Romano with it. The Italian stallion looking to get some room. Step back. Triple is good. Nice response by Marco Romano to bring this game within 1. Porzingis with it. Hands it off for Darius Springer, who's trapped. Back to Porzingis. These two guys look like they have so much chemistry right now. The 2-man game today between Springer and Porzingis has been really impressive on offense. 23-20. Pick and roll action. Romano inside for Xavier Tillman with the dunk. 25-22. Kobe White brings it up out to a wide open Malachi Branham, who hits the 3. Ochai Agbaji slow to get back on defense. Usually Ochai's the hustle guy, but that possession he was asleep. Porzingis with a dime inside for Springer. Again, as I said earlier, the 2-man game with these two has been a pleasure to watch in this first quarter. They are so in sync right now. Kobe White off the screen. Nothing but net on the 3. And the Spurs make it a 30-29 game. Super competitive, close first quarter so far. As Kobe White has it, he's going to heave up a prayer, and it is no good. Nice defense by the Blazers. They'll get a chance to take the lead before the end of the quarter. Logan with it on the drive. His layup is no good. Nice defense there by Kobe White. And that'll wrap up the first quarter. Logan's got to watch out for the foul there. 30-29, San Antonio leads through a very fun first quarter. I will say, if nothing else, I'm happy that it looks like we have an NBA competent offense who can get guys open and shoot the ball. Didn't have that in the first game today as Agbaji sinks for corner three to start the second. That'll put the Blazers ahead, 32-30. Ochai with 5 early points off the bench in his first game back, fully healthy without a minutes restriction. Wembanyama guarded by Zay Logan. Misses the floater. Wemby coming off a 10-point first quarter, albeit on 4 of 11 shooting, as Agbaji sends a dime for Griffin. Oh my goodness! Khalil Griffin with a masterful slam. That's more than a 360. I don't know how many degrees that is, but that's more than one full round trip. Pick and roll. Branham keeps it himself, hits the jumper. The Blazers were too focused on the roller that they didn't really stop Branham. Shaedon Sharpe, no good. Nice defensive play there by Malachi Branham. Spurs with it on the other end. Branham is going to have the foul on him. Agbaji has his feet set and draws the charge. What a big play by Agbaji. Won't really matter as Wembanyama gets the interception. Out to Jason Black, who dunks it on Shaedon Sharpe. A powerful slam for Black. 34-34. Simons out to Agbaji off the screen. Ochai drives inside for Zay Logan, who makes the layup. Logan's been playing the 5 in this second quarter, and I've got to say, he's held up pretty well. 36-36. Here's Ochai Agbaji for 3. It's good. Another triple for Och, his second of the quarter, and Portland regains the lead. Wembanyama inside. He is stopped again. This whole Zay Logan at the 5 experiment actually seems to be having some traction. Ochai, another 3. And the Blazers add to their lead. It's a 6-point game now. Wembanyama with it, looking to attack the mismatch again. And he misses again. We might have found the Wembanyama stopper. In transition, Griffin to Agbaji. Another 3. Bang! 3 straight possessions with Ochai Agbaji 3-pointers. It's a 9-point game. The Spurs got to get the ball out of Wembanyama's hands as Kobe White misses the layup. On the other end, Simons to Agbaji. Heat check. Bang! What a stretch for Ochai Agbaji, who single-handedly has gone on a 12-0 run in the last minute, and San Antonio's going to have to call a timeout. Agbaji off the bench tonight with 17 points. He's 5 of 5 from beyond the arc as the Blazers are feeling themselves. Sharpe misses the layup, though, on the other end. Romano looking to get the Spurs back on the board as their offense has quietly gone cold, and he will with a mid-range jumper to bring the lead back down to 10. Zay Logan is still running the 5. The experiment with him guarding Wembanyama continues to be a major success as Wemby finally scores over Zay Logan. Wembanyama's now 5 of 17 from the field as the pass is somehow caught by Sharpe out to Agbaji. He's got Scoot Henderson, and he airballs it. Portland's offense has gone cold since the big stretch by Agbaji, but defensively they're still playing really well. The Spurs offense has still forgotten how to play basketball. Wembanyama back on the board again as he makes that layup over Zay Logan. 42-48. Here comes Ochai Agbaji with it. Hands it off for Zay Logan. Jumper is good, and Logan's trying to show off his offensive ability along with the incredible defense he's played tonight. 50-44. Sharpe gets it over to Scoot Henderson. Drives by Levine. And Scoot Henderson sends it back with a tomahawk jam. 44-52. Here's Romano with it. How did he make that dribble move work? Out to Tillman, who makes the layup over Khalil Griffin. And ever since the big run by Agbaji, the Spurs have played pretty well, bringing the game back within 6. Here's Springer with it. I don't know why he passed it out. I guess him and Porzingis have too much trust with each other, passing up wide open layups for contested passes. Levine inside is blocked. Shaedon Sharpe with the snuff. Sharpe on the other end for 3. It's good. Big play on both ends for Shaedon Sharpe, and it's a 9-point Trailblazer lead. 1:10 left in the half. Romano triple. It's good. Marco Romano with that one from beyond the arc. 49-55. Griffin inside for Darius Springer. He's got Scoot inside for Porzingis. What fluid passing. Again, I know I sound like a broken record, but the ball movement today has been exquisite. Levine no good. Another nice defensive stop by the Blazers. on the other end. Here is Shaedon Sharpe with it, out to Springer. Long three from the logo. It's no good. He was open. That had a nice opportunity to fall. Spurs with it on the other end. Romano. Spin move. Romano looking to get this one over to Levine. Shot clock and game clock pretty much even as Tillman misses the dunk. Blazers in transition. Griffin's going to be open. His three-pointer will fall. And Khalil Griffin puts the lead back up to 11. One more possession here in the first half for San Antonio. Romano looking to get the Spurs over 50. Gets it to Sabonis, who might have been fouled there. Again, lucky we dodged that one. 60-49, Portland leads here at the half. The offense has been so much better than the Charlotte game. We've been a little careless with the turnovers, but other than that, the passing's been brilliant, and defensively, we've really held up. Wembanyama's got 14 points, I think, on 18 shots, while Ochai Agbaji has 17 points on 5 shots. There's levels to this. As we move into the second half, Portland looking to hold on to their lead. Wembanyama inside for Domantas Sabonis. Back to Wemby. I don't know how the Spurs matched their two bigs on our two guards, but it worked, and they make it a single-digit deficit. Scoot Henderson blows by Sabonis, and he slams it over Wembanyama. The two draft classmates colliding as it's a 13-point game. Sharp, pump fake, Porzingis sends it home. Kristaps Porzingis has been the unsung hero of this game. Great passing, great offense, and obviously defensively he's been phenomenal. As Levine gets the floater and the foul, and one as he's fouled by Shaedon Sharpe, pleading his case to the official. 10-point game. Levine, 3-ball, no good. Sabonis with the offensive rebound. He gets the putback. Another mismatch there, and the Spurs are continuing to hang around, even if it does feel like Portland's got the control. Romano with it, inside for Wembanyama. Another miss. And Wembanyama appears to be wincing in pain on the other end. 5-on-4. Somebody's got to be open. It's Porzingis at the top of the key. His three-pointer is good. But obviously the bigger deal is on the other end with Victor Wembanyama, who appears to be grabbing at his hip. And this could change everything for the Western Conference playoff. The best player this year in the NBA with what could be a pretty serious injury. All the Spurs title hopes would be dead at that point, and a 5-4 first-round matchup against San Antonio would look a lot less scary for Portland. There's Springer with the dunk. Romano snuffed at the rim. Ashton Wisham says, "Get that out of here." Griffin takes it himself on the other end. Over to Suleiman in the corner. Shaedon Sharpe. 3-ball is good. Shaedon Sharpe with the triple. Sharpe with 11 and 7. Sharpe has never had double digits in a game before in his NBA career. Could today be the day as Sabonis is in for the dunk. 76-64 now. Suleiman over to Shaedon Sharpe. Sharpe, floater is good. Great touch at the basket for Shaedon Sharpe, who's really starting to heat up here over the last really 8 or 9 minutes as it's a 14-point game. Floater is going to fall for Josh Hart, who's been quiet today after, of course, the big game winner when these two teams played each other a few months ago. 80-66. Here's Kobe White with it. Under 2 to go in the third. White off the screen. 3-ball will fall. And the Spurs, again, continuing to hang around. They're within single digits. 71-80. Sharpe, crossover. Sharpe floats it up and in. An acrobatic layup for Shaedon Sharpe, who's got 7 points over the last couple minutes. Black, pick and roll. Sabonis, no good. Grabs the rebound over Logan, who is playing the 5 again. And he gets the putback. 9-point game. Simons with it. Only 2 points today as he's intercepted by Sabonis. Out to Black. 1-on-1. Black is snuffed at the rim by Zay Logan. And then in transition, Shaedon Sharpe out to Agbaji. Another 3. Won't fall. His first miss of the game. But Wisham is there with the offensive rebound. Back to Agbaji. Inside. Woo! Pump fake. And the layup is good for Ochai Agbaji. 86-75 now. Here comes Kobe White with it. Guarded by Simons. White with room up the middle. He does not get that one to go. Nice defense by Wisham. Seconds to go in the quarter. Sharpe with it for 3. No good. And that'll wrap up the third. Strong quarter for Portland. They're able to hold on to their 11-point lead, not letting the Spurs do any damage. We'll see if Portland can hang on here in the fourth and get an impressive win against, again, one of the better teams in the league. As Wembanyama's back in the game with his injury, immediately swoops in for the steal. On the other end, passes it out to LaJason Black, who hits the jumper, and it's a single-digit deficit. 88-79 now. Here's Xavier Tillman with it on the baseline. Gets it over to Kobe White. White inside for Wembanyama, who is denied. Porzingis with the block. Henderson, pump fake, back to Porzingis in the corner. Agbaji, 3-ball, it's good! Ochai Agbaji with 24 off the bench. As, speaking of, the bench is fired up. The passing there, again, incredible. Suleiman for Springer, who sends it home. The unselfishness on offense has been a treat to watch. The difference between this game and Charlotte has been the passing and the ability for guys to get open and pick their spots. Griffin with the layup. It's a 17-point game now. Portland starting to make this one out of reach. Wembanyama, catch and shoot 3 is good. As Victor Wembanyama looks to will the Spurs back into this game despite a pretty rough showing for him. The Spurs need him to clutch up. Agbaji, inside, he's good with 26 points, tying a season high. 16-point game. Wembanyama, out to Marco Romano. Bounces off of Scoot and gets the jumper to go. The Spurs are not quitting, down by 14 with 5 to go. Griffin's no good. Nice defensive play by Victor Wembanyama. On the other end, out to Kobe White. His 3-ball will not fall, but Ben Fultz is there with the offensive rebound and the putback, and the lead is back down to 12 with under 5 to go. Scoot, crossover, jumper is good. Nice play there for Scoot. If Portland can just play solid, sound basketball over the next 2 minutes, I think they can ice this one for good. Romano, spin move, nice play by Marco Romano, who's arguably been the Spurs' best player today with Wembanyama's inefficiency. Romano in the corner, Josh Hart for 3. I'm getting war flashbacks. Hart with an open triple, and it's an 11-point game. Under 4 to go now. Springer guarded by Sabonis. Out to Agbaji. He's got Shaedon Sharpe. Crossover. Sharpe with the slam over Victor Wembanyama. Nice slam for Shaedon. 104-91. Romano off the screen. His 3-pointer is good. Another triple for Romano, and these Spurs just will not die. Under 3 to go. Agbaji, pump fake. Logan, corner 3. No good. Zay Logan was wide open. That was the play to be the dagger as he pokes it away from Wembanyama right into the hands of Marco Romano. Back to Wembanyama. San Antonio needs to score here. It's Wemby guarded by Logan off the pick and roll, and his shot is good. The whole Zay Logan might be the Wembanyama stopper. Might have lost its luster. I don't know. 96-104. Sharpe is going to get that one to roll in. A lucky bounce. Or maybe a skillful layup for Shaedon Sharpe. Under 2 to go. It's now or never for the Spurs. Wembanyama blocked again. I think that was Springer who got a hand on it. Doesn't matter because Josh Hart is there with the second chance layup. 6-point game. Sharpe, wide open lane. He gets another dunk. 21 points tonight for Shaedon Sharpe. Great cut off the ball. He saw that the paint was wide open and he takes full advantage. Here's Zach LaVine for 3. No good. Wemby with the rebound. He's blocked again. Agbaji with the denial. This has to be the most amount of times he's gotten blocked in a game in his career as Griffin gets the dunk on the other end. He's got a double-double, 11 and 10. Might this game be out of reach? It's a 10-point game with 70 seconds left. Wembanyama floats in the layup and we are down to 8. If we learned anything about the Bucks game in the last episode is that you cannot let your guard down in situations like this. Thankfully, the Spurs choose not to defend the paint, and Shaedon Sharpe gets the dunk. There's only around 20 seconds left. The Spurs not fouling, but they do force the turnover and get the 3 by Romano. It's only a 5-point game all of a sudden, and Agbaji is fouled. Well, at the following inbound, it would be Scoot Henderson who would go to the line. He would go 2 for 2. And it's a 7-point game as the Spurs use a timeout. They're going to have to start chucking some threes up. Sabonis, triple, no good. Wemby with the rebound. Instead of going for the putback, they go back to Sabonis. Misses again. Wembanyama rebound. Back to Sabonis. 3-ball, no good. Wemby with another rebound out to Romano. And he misses that one. The Spurs chuck up 4 threes. Actually, I think it was 5 on that last possession. And it doesn't matter, obviously. The Portland Trailblazers win it by 7. 114-107. Big-time win here against, obviously, a really strong Spurs team who obviously had Wembanyama get injured, playing through it in the fourth. Ochai Agbaji was the star of the show. 28 points on absurd efficiency, including that impressive heat check where he made 4 consecutive three-pointers in the second quarter. That moment right there gave us control of the game. and we never let go of it. Even though the Spurs had multiple times where they made it close, we were always in the driver's seat. Shaedon Sharpe of 23 and 7 assists, a passing masterclass from Shaedon Sharpe. Don't see that every day. 17 for Scoot, 13 for Springer. Porzingis, I thought, played a really well-rounded game. 12 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Played really strong defense. Much better than the last time against the Spurs. He did what we needed him to. He was efficient on offense, and he got consistent stops on defense. And he made some really nice passes as well. Double-double for Griffin. Zay Logan was also really impressive, guarding Wembanyama in that second quarter. And if we do play against the Spurs in the playoffs, then we may have found the Wemby stopper. So overall, a pretty strong outing from us on both ends of the floor. The offense, I thought, was pretty good, over 50% from 3. Defense, very strong as well. Wemby had 27 points, albeit on 34 shot attempts. He missed a lot, and the rebounds weren't even that high as well. He ended up with 10, but if not for that stretch at the end of the game, where he had like 4 in the last 15 seconds, he would have only had 6. He did have 7 steals, though. I will say the one issue I had with today was the turnovers. Sloppy passing the ball at times. Romano with a double-double, 20 and 12. Nobody else was really all that impressive. White and Sabonis, the only other 2 in the double figures. Overall, an unimpressive game from San Antonio's offense. Victor Wembanyama was really held in check before and after the injury. And so the Blazers get the win, looking to continue to position ourselves for the 3rd seed in the Western Conference. So now the Spurs are probably going to end up 5th, and at the bare minimum, we will most likely get 4th place. But we still have a lot to play for with 2 games to go. The Thunder are a half game ahead of us. The Kings are a half game behind us. Both of those teams have 3 games left, while we have 2. So we're going to follow along with the Thunder and the Kings to see how they do over their final stretch of the season, to see where our seeding placement ultimately is. And we're going to follow San Antonio as well. So the Kings play the 2 LA teams in Utah, all on the road. The Spurs play Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City also has the Jazz and the Rockets, which is a really tough stretch to end the year for them. So I simulated through another day. The Bucks, by the way, have clinched the 1 seed, which is relevant because we're playing against them. So hopefully the Bucks don't really try here. Unfortunately, they didn't get the memo. They end up beating us 113-102 with a nice second half comeback. RJ Barrett leads the way, and Ochai Agbaji is hurt again. Are you kidding? 30 for RJ, 29 for Giannis, but obviously the big story here, another injury for Ochai Agbaji, who's only played in 24 games this year. Pulled back muscle. It's nothing serious, but he'll be out for the rest of the regular season. We have moved back into 4th place. Half a game behind both the Spurs and the Kings. The Spurs, meanwhile, are pretty much locked into the 5 spot. We kind of need the Spurs to beat Oklahoma City here. If the Spurs lose, though, there is a world where they drop to 6th or even 7th. So maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, as Oklahoma City does get the win. So with 1 game left to go, the Thunder will be a full game ahead of us. What about Sacramento? They're playing against the Lakers. They should blow them out of the water. The Lakers say not so fast. They're making this a game. It's tied with 38 seconds left, and I think we're going to hop in. If the Kings win, they'll be ahead of us with a full game left. If they lose, then we will be tied with a game left. So Jalen Hood-Schifino gets it over to Devin Vassell. Vassell chucks up a 3, and it's no good. Cone with the rebound, and the Kings get it back. Not a lot of time on the shot clock. Prospero with it inside on the drive. 4 to go. Prospero for the lead. It's good. And Sacramento leads by a pair. The Lakers call time, and they have a chance to tie or take the win. The Blazers obviously hoping for a Laker miracle with the shot clock unplugged. Who do they go to? Do they look to the rookie Del Toro? Do they look to get it to somebody else? It will be Dante Del Toro with it inside for, looks like Najee for the tie. He misses. And the Kings hang on. They beat the Lakers by 2. 116-114. And so with 1 game to go, the Blazers are alone in 4th place. The Kings and the Thunder at 51-30 are a game ahead of us. Interestingly, though, the Spurs might not get 5th. They're only a game ahead of the Mavericks and the Wolves. So 2 through 4 are separated by a game. 5 through 7 are separated by a game. Things are getting real weird in this Western Conference, and because of that, I've decided to have a change of plans. We're going to wrap up the regular season in the next episode. With all the possible scenarios we have here, I kind of want to enjoy the final game of the regular season. for the next episode to see if the Blazers can get out of 4th place. What about the Spurs in 5th? Who knows what's going to happen, but regardless, it should be pretty crazy. Hope everybody enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.